We haven't really heard much from you since the tragic passing of Dolph. I'm just wondering how you feeling, how you holding up. I mean, obviously, something that's...
I'm content. I'm all right. I'm not getting better, I'm not getting worse. I'm just here right now.
Yeah. Do you remember how you found out and where you were?
Never forget, yep.
Where were you at?
I was at home. I was at home laying down, actually. Yep.
And did somebody call you, or?
Somebody called me in the house. Like, you know how you can hear when somebody call your name, like the tone of their voice, like you know something wrong, you just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Nobody can tell me it ain't nothing I can do that'll make me feel better. I'm just be 100.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
The headline circulating right now says Hernandez Goven revealed that Key Glock killed his daughter. That headline is what the internet is running with, and that headline is not what the evidence shows. By the time we're done here, you're going to understand exactly where that claim came from, why it spread, and why it falls apart the moment you look at the actual case records. Here's the foundation. Hernandez Goven is one of the most controversial names connected to the young Dolph murder case. Dolph, Adolph Thornton Jr., was a Memphis legend. Truly independent, built paper route empire from scratch, turned down major deals to own himself, gave back to the city constantly. On November 17, 2021, he walked into Makita's Homemade Cookies on Airways Boulevard and was ambushed in broad daylight, shot more than 20 times. Memphis went into mourning and the whole hip-hop world felt it. What prosecutors said about Goven wasn't that he pulled a trigger. They said he was the organizer. The alleged middleman who set the whole thing in motion, connected the money to the shooters, and pointed them at Dolph. In November 2022, he was indicted on first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The DA called him the man who solicited the murder and put it into motion. That label, alleged mastermind, stuck to him, and it's why every subsequent tragedy connected to his name immediately becomes a theory. The alleged motive prosecutors presented was revenge. Big Juke, Anthony Mims, Yo Gotti's brother, had allegedly wanted Dolph dead over years of diss tracks and rivalry between their camps. And Big Juke himself was later shot and killed outside a restaurant before he could face any charges. The man prosecutors said was behind the motive was gone before trial. That pattern, death stacking up around a single event, is what primes the internet to connect every new tragedy to the same story. Now let's talk about who Destiny Goven actually was, because this is a real person and she deserves more than a thumbnail. Hernandez Goven had a daughter. Her name was Destiny Goven, born September 12th, 1997. She went by Lotto Cash Desto, and she was a rising rapper signed to Lil Uzi Vert's label. Uzi called her his twin, his sister, considered her family. They had real music together. She was on Lunchroom with him in August 2022. They had Vegas in the works. She had her own mixtapes out, her own growing fan base, a real career building with one of the biggest artists in the game supporting her. She was 25 years old. On September 24th, 2022, in the early hours of the morning, around 2:40 a.m., Destiny was in Houston driving a silver Porsche SUV on Richmond Avenue near Chimney Rock Road. She had a passenger with her. She pulled up and stopped behind a vehicle at an intersection. Two men got out of that vehicle and opened fire on her car. Destiny was found unresponsive in the driver's seat. Paramedics pronounced her dead at the scene. Her passenger was hit and rushed to the hospital. A third person was wounded in the chaos. That's what happened. Confirmed by Houston PD, confirmed by the medical record, confirmed by every credible outlet that covered it. Lil Uzi spoke at her funeral in Memphis, voice cracking. Said it didn't feel real. Said she was always right there on his hip everywhere he went. That's what Destiny Goven's death meant to the people who actually knew her. Now here's who Houston police actually charged. The first suspect was Christian Isaiah Williams, 24 years old. During the shooting, Williams himself was shot in the stomach. Officers found him in a parking lot across the street from where Destiny's car was. The evidence at the scene tied him directly to the shooting. He was charged with murder with bond set at $150,000. The second suspect took longer. In April 2023, about 7 months after the killing, a 19-year-old named Jeremiah Smith was arrested and extradited from Alexandria, Louisiana. He was charged with murder in the 176th State District Court in Houston with bond set at $500,000. More than 3 times Williams' bond, which typically signals the system believes someone played a larger role. 2 men charged: Christian Isaiah Williams and Jeremiah Smith. That's the investigation. That's the record. And critically, early reporting from Houston PD suggested the motive could have been robbery or rage. No official reporting ever established a confirmed connection between Destiny's death and the young Dolph case. Key Glock's name appears nowhere in the police reports, nowhere in the charges, nowhere in any credible news outlet's coverage of this case. Not as a suspect, not as a person of interest, not anywhere. So how did his name get into a viral headline? Here's how misinformation works when there's already a charged cultural framework to plug it into. You start with a real tragedy, Destiny Goven killed, completely confirmed. You add a pre-existing revenge narrative. The entire Dolph case was already built around payback, loyalty, getting even. You add a natural question people genuinely asked: was this retaliation? That question is understandable given the context. And then you need a name, because a rumor with a famous name in the thumbnail gets 10 times the clicks of a rumor about 2 people nobody outside Houston has heard of. Christian Williams and Jeremiah Smith charged doesn't trend. But put a platinum-selling artist's name in a headline with the word revealed, and you have a viral machine. Key Glock was an easy name to grab because he's emotionally wired into the whole Dolph story. He was Dolph's closest protege. Paper Route Empire, Dumb and Dumber. That bond was documented in music for years, and when Dolph died, losing his mentor was one of the most painful storylines in the whole tragedy. The internet took a name already attached to the Dolph story emotionally and jammed it into a completely unrelated Houston murder case. No evidence, no charges, no police statement, no actual quote from Goven naming him. Just a name, a thumbnail, and a question mark turned into a period. Now here's what happened to Hernandez Goven himself, because the ending is something. His trial came in August 2025. The state put up 8 witnesses, including Dolph's own sister, Dolph's head of security, and their star witness, Cornelius Smith Jr., who had already admitted to being one of the 2 shooters who killed Dolph and whose testimony had helped convict Justin Johnson, the other shooter, who got life in prison in 2024. Smith got on the stand and directly tied Goven to the conspiracy. Investigators laid out phone communications between Goven and the shooters. The DA's case rested heavily on Smith's testimony connecting Goven to the planning. Goven's defense attorney Manny Aurora attacked the quality of the investigation and went directly at Smith's credibility, arguing that a cooperating witness saving his own neck by pointing fingers is not reliable testimony, and that the phone contact between Goven and Smith had a simple explanation. Goven regularly sold Smith drugs. 2 people talking on the phone isn't proof of murder conspiracy when they already had an established relationship for other reasons. After roughly 3 hours of deliberation, the jury came back on August 21st, 2025. Not guilty. All charges. The alleged mastermind of young Dolph's murder walked out of that courthouse a free man. He hugged his lawyer, thanked the judge, and told reporters the first thing he wanted to do was hug his son. He said he always knew he had a chance because he was always confident in his innocence. The owner of Makitas said he didn't think justice was served. The DA said you have to respect a jury's decision even when you disagree. And Cornelius Smith, the confessed shooter who flipped and testified, still has his own sentencing hanging. Here's where everything lands. The man the internet calls a mastermind was found not guilty by 12 people who heard all the evidence. The daughter he lost was killed by 2 men named Williams and Smith, not the name in the viral headline. The connections between Dolph's death and Destiny's death was never officially established. It's still an open question, not a closed case. Key Glock was never charged with anything in connection with Destiny Goven's death. The headline that says Goven revealed Glock did it is not backed by a single police report, a single credible news outlet, or a single documented statement from Goven himself naming him. A 25-year-old woman with real talent and a real future was gunned down at a red light. Her death became a guessing game with a celebrity's name attached to drive traffic. That's the real story underneath the headline. And now you know the difference between what actually happened and what the internet decided it meant. Drop a comment. Do you think we'll ever get the full truth about how all of these deaths connect? Or is this one of those stories the streets hold on to forever?